make his opening statement, then we'll go ahead and take questions. Whenever you're ready, Coach.
Okay, excuse me. Had really two good weeks here in preparation or in the second week of preparation. Coming off the first round of the playoffs, it's been great for our guys. I think we've been in a position to where we've probably been as healthy as we have been in a number of weeks. You got some of the early enrollees out here, so that's always nice with these new freshmen coming in here. Kind of like Christmas morning, right, for a coach, right, to get to play with all the new toys you recruited. And those guys have got a great demeanor and bringing some energy out there to practice. And our older guys are doing a great job of continuing to build the legacy of how we do things and play in the standard of Alabama's defense. I think obviously we got a great opponent in Indiana coming up. I had some really great times there and had some special moments and some great memories of my time in Bloomington. Kalen and I met each other there and coached together as coordinators. And so some really great memories in that position. And I think the world of Coach Signetti and his staff. They've done a really tremendous job. Their administration has done a phenomenal job. Scott Dolson, their athletic director, of just everybody pulling the rope in the same direction. And it's awesome to see what they have done with their program in 2 years. Offensively, I think they are highly efficient, very explosive. That starts with their quarterback. He knows where to go with the ball. He's very decisive, makes great decisions with the ball. And can make all the throws and can make the explosive plays when it matters most. They're very disciplined, very detailed, probably as disciplined and as detailed as an offense as we have faced. I think their physicality shows up on tape. They play the game physical from an offensive line standpoint. Their tight ends and blocking, their run game. I think they do a great job of if you'll give them 4 yards in a cloud of dust, they'll take it all day long. And they've got great RPO answers matched off of their run game as well. But I think the thing that stands out probably as much as anything is they make plays when it matters most, and they have made the plays to put them in position to be undefeated to this point in the season. So it's a great challenge, one that we are very much looking forward to. Awesome and honored to be playing and representing this football team in the Rose Bowl. And certainly more work ahead, but excited for the task at hand.
Charlie on the far right side.
Yeah, Coach, you talked about being healthy, and we saw LT back on the field today too. Just how big of a boost is that going into a game against or an offense like this?
Yeah, I think that's an awesome blessing. Just for LT, it's awesome for us. For him, he obviously needs to have another good couple of days here, but is certainly on track. And to have him in this game, his experience, certainly his excitement of wanting to get back out on the field and go compete with his teammates. I mean, he's an ultimate competitor. He's done a really good job of staying in shape, which was one of the things that we wanted to make sure that if the opportunity was to come back, that he would be in great shape, and he looks great right now. So very excited for him, very excited for us. And when you have a difference maker like that off the edge, it certainly changes your defense.
I want to ask you about your dad's presence on the sideline this season. Just what has he brought to you in terms of being a sounding board or whatever his role has been?
Well, he created this defense, right? So he's the originator of what we do defensively in our scheme. And so, he's got 38 years of experience tied into what we do, and not just the defensive scheme portion, but probably what he does such a great job of is just keeping, when we talk, just keeping me focused on the main thing, our fundamentals as a defense. The offensive opponent, who are they trying to get the ball to? What is the focus of their team? So like we get done with a game, we play South Carolina on the road, and as soon as the game is over, by the time I get on the bus, he's got his notes on 8 games, 10 games, whatever it is of the next opponent. And so it just allows me to one step ahead with somebody that knows me, knows this defense, understands the bigger picture. And it really just kind of clarifies and crystallizes what I'm thinking about from a game plan standpoint from 1 week to the next. And then he watches every practice. He's got his iPad there in Oxford, Mississippi, and he'll have thoughts and notes and stuff from what we're doing in practice. And And so usually when you have somebody like that, it crystallizes the mission, right? It keeps the main thing, and it never keeps us too far off that North Star of what we need to do fundamentally and who we need to defend week to week.
Hey, Coach, you mentioned that discipline of Indiana. How important is it to be disruptive against that offense who's been pretty insulated from really getting off schedule this entire season? And also, is there any plan for the rain? We see on the forecast that it's getting a little bit more stormy there in Pasadena.
Yeah. Well, you certainly, I mean, you want to be disruptive on defense in general, and we have those elements to what we do. But there has been a recipe of how we operate and what we do defensively, and so execution has been really the critical component of what we do, and really against these guys, right? That comes at a premium. They are very disciplined. They are detailed. We've got to be. We got to beat them at their own game in terms of what they're doing fundamentally. So execution comes at a premium. Playing with great fundamentals comes at a premium. We certainly will have answers, just like we did in the Oklahoma game. We had to make some real adjustments, but ultimately we have to do what we do well that's got us to this point, and then be ready to answer and adjust based off of what we're getting in the game.
Joe, in the middle of
Coach, Indiana only has eight turnovers this season. What do they do so well to protect the football, and what do you see opportunities for your defense in this game to create takeaways?
Yeah, there's always opportunities to create takeaways. Good, nice job on that. I saw you're very proud of yourself for using the word takeaways. I think when you look at them, they're very disciplined. They're very detailed. It's the reason why they're one of the top teams in the country in turnover margin. It's the reason why they're one of the top teams in the country in penalties. They're very disciplined and detailed about what they do. I think we're as good as anybody in the country at attempting to take the ball off of people. It doesn't mean that we always get it, but we are going to attempt to take it off. And so, it will be a great challenge for us, but we will also be a great challenge for them. And one that, I think really when you start looking at the markers of the game, the turnover margin will be a huge indicator to who wins that game. And I know that you could point to that in a lot of different scenarios, but explosive plays and turnover margin, I think will define the outcome of this football game.
last line, let's go. Hunter first. Go to Will.
Hey, Coach, when Xavier Brown arrived on campus and you saw him practice for the first time, was there an expectation level that he could become one of the top corners in the game?
100%. I mean, and sometimes, right, there's a process of development for all players. But I think Xavier is as pro ready as I have ever seen a freshman, walking in the door. I mean, he just operates like an absolute professional in everything he does. He's very matter of fact about his business. Whether it's success or adversity, he stays focused on the next play. He takes great mental reps from, something that maybe he didn't do good enough as a freshman. One of the most impressive things I remember from that first spring is he would get something fixed immediately, and then he could sustain that correction through the remainder of spring ball. And now all he's done is just, he's added 24 months, right, of work on top of that. And so it's amazing to me, right? The guys that are the most disciplined, the most detailed, the most professional about what they do tend to be the ones that make the biggest plays in the biggest moments. And that dude has had, he's probably had more career changing plays. And, I don't know. I don't want to sit here and say we've had some phenomenal players that have come through these halls, but what, some pretty special moments that he's already created for this football team.
Next. Or that.
Coach, there's a good amount of talk around Indiana that surrounds Fernando Mendoza and what he's able to do, but he's not the only player on that offense that's good. Who else has stood out to you as you prepare for this game?
Well, as there should be. I mean, there's a reason why he won the Heisman Trophy. He is a fantastic player. The offense goes with him, right? He's the leader of that offense, and he's the reason why they're able to do the things that they do and be efficient. But they have on the flip side, they have a very good run game. They have a very good detailed RPO scheme and answers in their run game. And so they'll do a great job of they can bleed you down the field if you'll allow them to do that. And so we got to do a great job of playing with vision and rallying to the ball and driving on those short throws so that we don't allow them to create more things down the field. But when you look at them, they're receivers, they block, they compete their tail off for the ball when it's in the air, that you can tell they've got great chemistry between their quarterback and he puts the ball out there and he does a great job of putting the ball out. But, some of those plays, those receivers just went and got it. Now he gave them a chance to do it, but they got to finish and come down with the ball. So he's got super competitive receiving core, including their tight end. But they have a very trusted run game that has showed up for them just about in every single game. They haven't blown the doors off in every single game rushing the football, but they're very efficient in what they do and they stay on schedule because of it.
Let's go. Blake next.
You mentioned the early enrollees. Just what has your initial impression been of those guys over the last couple of days?
Well, like most of the freshmen that come through here, they're swimming a little bit, and especially when you're going through this time, we're a well-oiled machine and how we operate. Those guys mainly are, they're doing individual work with us. You can see our older guys teaching them drills. These are drills that we've been doing for, as a defense now, we've been doing it for almost 24 months, right? Some of these guys, they walk in the door, but it's awesome to see a standard be laid and a foundation be laid. And these older guys are now setting the expectation of how we do what we do here. And then, from a scout team standpoint, it's a little bit of juice and shot in the arm, right? For our scout teams, you get, guys with some fresh legs and bodies, and they're excited to go to work out there. They don't always go the right way right now because they're learning, how we operate as scout teams, and that's a well-oiled machine as well. There's a lot that goes into the scout team work, but certainly exciting to have those guys out there with us right now.
Johnny Best, right.
Hey, Kane, from talking to you throughout the seasons and being a coach's son, you got an appreciation for the history of this game, and you're going to be competing on one of the grandest stages in all of sports. I'm interested the tightrope of trying to stay focused while at the same time, for lack of a better term, stopping to smell the roses and kind of appreciate where you're going to be coaching next week.
Yeah, that's great. I was actually talking with Kirk Herbstreit and Chris Fowler about that. They were talking about how special this game is and how much they enjoy being a part of it. This would be a bucket list opportunity for me. I mean, I've been in between my dad's career, my playing career, coaching career. I've been a part of the Orange Bowl, Sugar Bowl, Cotton Bowl, Peach. I mean, I think this will be my 26th bowl game that I've been a part of, but I've never been a part of the Rose Bowl. So this is an awesome opportunity, one that I will take a moment at some point to appreciate, enjoy, and then I'll lock right back into the work and the task at hand. I would imagine Rose Bowls are much more memorable when you win the game. So we'll make sure that we do that. But it's awesome. I mean, our sport is built upon moments and bowl games like the Rose Bowl. And so this one is the granddaddy of them all for a reason, and we're excited to be a part of it.
Questions over come from the Zoom. We'll start with Katie Wendell first. Go ahead, Katie.
Yeah, hey Kane, 2 questions if I can. First, Xavier, Bray, and Keon are the only guys on defense with over 700 snaps this season, and I'm sure part of that lends to their position, but just what has made them so reliable and trustworthy that you have them back there that much? And then second question is, and it's okay if you don't want to answer this, but what do you keep in your little fanny pack or pouch during games that's part of the game day outfit?
Well, so I think the first thing with Bray and Keon, those guys, you typically don't rotate quite as much with the safety position. Those guys are making all the calls, all the communications, and they do a really tremendous job of just being in the right place at the right time. They're the last line of defense. And so, guys that are very trusted and proven get to play in that position. And it's been awesome to watch both of those guys grow and develop into the position that they have. I mean, Bray Hubbard wasn't playing for us at the beginning of the 2024 season from a defensive perspective. Now, arguably, I mean, I would argue he's as good as any safety in the country right now. Keon Sabb has built himself himself in position to be as good as any safety in the country right now. As a tandem and a duo, I think they're playing at a really high level. One that I think, you know, they have a mindset to take the ball away. They do a great job of communicating on the back end. And I think a lot of what we have done well as an execution as a defense is just, you know, doing our job and making sure that we're not, you know, giving the offense any easy opportunities. And a large part of that is just being in the right place at the right time. And those guys get us in the right place at the right time. There is no fanny pack. I almost, it's just it's like a power, it's got all my power pack stuff on the back. So there's no like pouch or anything for me to put my lip balms and, you know what I mean, and my essential oils or whatever. I don't do anything like that. So, I got, they put like, but it's got like my radio, that I talk to the guys, and then, the communication piece up top, they strap it on the back. And then up top, we call it the easy button, the communication on field to to Deontay Lawson or, you know, whoever's, Justin Jefferson at times has that. So that's when I have to press that button to be able to communicate to those guys. So didn't know that people thought that I was carrying snacks out there on the field
Candy, little snacks,
to a
something.
game.
Hey, Kane, you already mentioned a little bit about Fernando Mendoza. Are you guys using, I guess, his Heisman Trophy as kind of a rallying cry of wanting to, you know, shut him down? Is that fuel for the guys to be like, we want to stop the Heisman Trophy winner? What does that look like?
Yeah, sure. I mean, you know, I want to stop quarterbacks whether they've won the Heisman Trophy or not. But I certainly, if they've won the Heisman, it's a tremendous challenge for us. I mean, he is, you know, he's operating at a really high level. He's executing at a really high level. And so when you watch the tape and the challenge, really the rally cry for our guys is you're going to have to operate at a really consistent level, and you're going to have to take away those windows that he's wanting to get the ball to. That means that, you know, it's not just the coverage, right? We have to be able to rush. We've got to be able to affect the quarterback some. And then ultimately, we've got to be able to finish on the ball against a receiving core that in my mind has competed for the football at the top of routes all season long, and they tend to step up in big moments. And so this will be a big moment for us. It'll be a great opportunity. One that, you know, if there's anything that this team has been, it's battle tested. And so we're excited for just another challenge at hand. Okay, thanks guys. Roll Tide.